You think you're in control? Every day you wake up, make choices, follow routines, build relationships, chase goals, and believe that you're the one steering the ship of your life. But what if I told you that's an illusion? That your sense of control is nothing more than a carefully constructed narrative, one that your brain tells itself to feel safe in an unpredictable world? In this deep journey into the mind, we'll uncover the shocking psychological mechanisms behind the illusion of control. Expose how your decisions are influenced long before you're even aware of them, and reveal how society, culture, and even your own biology manipulate your choices while you believe you're acting freely. This is not a conspiracy, this is science, and once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. From the invisible strings of cognitive bias to the subconscious conditioning that drives your habits, the illusion of control is everywhere. And the more you think you're immune to it, the more deeply you're trapped in its web. Let's start at the root. The human brain craves predictability. In ancient times, this trait helped us survive those who could anticipate danger. Read patterns in nature or predict social behavior had a better chance of staying alive. But this survival mechanism has evolved into something more deceptive in modern life: a false sense of agency. For example, when you press a button in an elevator, you assume it's doing something even when it's already been pressed. Those placebo buttons give us the illusion of control. Okay? And companies install them because people get anxious without them. Now scale this up to your entire life. How many decisions do you make each day under the illusion that you're in charge, when in fact, you're reacting to unseen forces? Think about free will. Neuroscientists like Benjamin Libet have shown in experiments that your brain registers the intention to act milliseconds before you consciously decide to do so. That means your unconscious mind makes the decision, and only later does your conscious mind rationalize it. This discovery shattered the traditional idea of free will. Are you really choosing, or are you just narrating choices after they've already been made for you? In behavioral economics, Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman explained how most of our decisions are made using System 1 thinking fast. It's automatic, emotional, and subconscious. Meanwhile, System 2 thinking's low, deliberate, logical ease, lazy. It only kicks in when forced. So while you believe you're weighing pros and cons, most choices are made quickly, instinctively, and often irrationally, only justified later through logic. Advertisers know this. They design choices, environments, even packaging to nudge you into decisions while making you believe you're choosing freely. Take the classic example of supermarket layout. Ever wonder why essentials like milk and eggs are placed in the far back corner? It's not random, it's engineered to force you through aisles packed with impulse buys. You walk through thinking you're deciding to pick up that snack, but really, the store architect decided for you. And yet, you'll walk out believing you were in full control. Even relationships aren't immune. Studies show we are more likely to date people whose names resemble ours, or who sit next to us in class. We tell ourselves romantic stories about fate or compatibility, but often it's proximity, exposure, and subconscious similarity bias at play. And here's where it gets darker. Trauma and insecurity feed the illusion of control. When something painful happens, like the loss of a loved one or a sudden accident, our minds look for reasons, patterns, even blame, not because it's rational, but because randomness is terrifying. We'd rather believe in a flawed system that we can control than accept chaos. This is called the just world hypothesis, the belief that people get what they deserve. It's a mental defense against the unbearable truth that sometimes life just isn't fair. Religion too often reinforces this illusion. The idea of divine order, karma, or destiny gives people a framework to interpret randomness as part of a bigger plan. That can be comforting but also misleading. When we attribute events to supernatural causes, we bypass the complex psychological and societal factors involved. And this illusion doesn't just affect individuals, it shapes entire systems. Political campaigns are crafted not to inform but to trigger cognitive biases, like confirmation bias, and in-group loyalty, nudging voters in predictable ways while making them feel autonomous. Algorithms on social media feed you what keeps you engaged, based on data from your behavior. You feel like you're exploring freely, but you're in a feedback loop, a curated echo chamber designed to keep your attention, not your freedom. Now let's go deeper into control in the workplace. Ever notice how employers give you choices to make you feel empowered, like choosing between 2 deadlines or 2 projects? These are bounded choices where the range is limited but the illusion remains. This is a tactic used in parenting, education, and even prison systems. Give the subject a sense of control to reduce resistance. It works not because people are foolish, but because our brains are wired to seek agency, even fake agency. And when that agency is taken away, we panic. Learned helplessness, discovered in experiments with animals, shows that when individuals are repeatedly exposed to uncontrollable stress, they eventually stop trying to escape even when escape becomes possible. Humans do the same. Think about people in toxic jobs or relationships. They often stay not because they want to, but because they've been conditioned to believe there's no point in resisting. This is where the illusion of control flips. When it's gone too long, the opposite illusion appears: helplessness. Both are illusions, both are traps. So how can we begin to see clearly? The first step is awareness. Simply knowing that your brain is prone to narrative fallacies, to shortcuts, to unconscious nudges, gives you a chance to pause. Mindfulness practices like meditation or journaling can help you observe your thoughts before you act on them. They slow down System 1 and give System 2 a chance to participate. But awareness isn't enough. You must also accept uncertainty. That's the hardest part. Humans are addicted to certainty. We prefer a bad explanation over no explanation. But in truth, control is often just probability dressed up in confidence. You can influence outcomes, yes. But control? Control in the absolute sense is mostly fiction. This doesn't mean we're powerless. In fact, realizing the limits of control can be liberating. If you're not responsible for everything, you can stop blaming yourself for every failure. You can let go of perfectionism. You can stop trying to micromanage the universe. Instead, you can focus on what Stoic philosophers call the dichotomy of control, understanding what is within your control and what is not. This ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever, because in the age of data, dopamine, and decision fatigue, your attention is your most valuable currency. When you spend it chasing control over everything, you burn out. But when you redirect it inward, when you cultivate awareness, agency, and humility, you begin to awaken from the illusion. And here's the final truth. The mind that seeks control is itself uncontrollable.
Ow.
Your thoughts arise spontaneously. Your emotions emerge from chemistry. Even your sense of self, the I who thinks at ease and charges a story told by neurons. That's not a failure of the mind. It's brilliance. You're not a captain steering a ship. You're the ship, the sea, and the storm. You're not here to control the waves. You're here to learn how to surf them. So the next time you catch yourself gripping tightly to a plan, a belief, or a desired outcome, pause. Ask yourself, is this real control or just the illusion of it? And if it is an illusion, can I let it go without fear? Because only when you release the illusion of control do you finally reclaim your freedom. Not the freedom to control everything, but the freedom to exist fully within a world you cannot control. That is not weakness. That is power. The power to choose presence over prediction, acceptance over anxiety, flow over force. And in that space between control and surrender, you might just find what you've been looking for all along: peace.